So, how's it going? Right, not messing about today. I'm digging another hole, and I'll keep it brief. The inner... Sorry, we'll keep that in. It's a 1919 area, and we're going down to the same depth as the spawning room's floor at Y32. No really happened. Just know that I collected all the ores I came across, filled in any gaps in the wall, and on the way down I kept a stone block ladder going to get back topside to make it easier to dump blocks I was mining. There you go. The semi-interesting stuff happened towards the bottom of the dig. The semi-interesting stuff happened towards the bottom of the dig. The semi-interesting stuff happened. The semi-interesting stuff happened towards the bottom of the dig. We're gonna do this together. Together. The semi-interesting stuff happened towards the bottom of the dig as I had to use my brain a bit. There you go. Nailed it. Ha! Swear to God that's karma. I was bragging to my friend the other day. I was like, oh, I never mess up when I record audio. I've got like 4 bloopers. Yeah, karma, man. At Y45, I uncovered a passage I was expecting to hit. This takes you to the functional underground Cave Kingdom base, and this is where the infinite water well is. For reference, this torch is where I was standing when I watched the skeletons fight each other before my canonical mega fight with the skeleton wizard archer. Remember? Anyway, the access tunnel and well were to be relocated. As I was further down now, I erected a temporary bridge to the Cave Kingdom, and at the base I swat down a new well. This is a shot at the bottom of the finished hole. This cobblestone is the wall from the inside of the hole of last episode. This is where the well was. I'm telling you, I'm not on point today at all. A new access tunnel had to be installed, and I am not kidding. I pulled this one straight out my backside when it came to precision. The old tunnel was here going through the wall, so I wanted to start here, dig a stairway down and drop somewhere into the spawners collection chamber. It's really not rocket science. Now, a clever person could calculate exactly where to dig by taking the coordinates and cross-referencing them, etc., figuring out where to dig a perfectly aligned tunnel. But, as I was having a bad day in real life and I had little time for science and just wanted to rage out and smash stuff, I just picked a spot behind some diorite that looked like a good place to hit stuff, and I made some stairs. I knocked through a wall and I knew I needed to turn left, so I turned left, and then I saw the spawner collection chest, and would you believe it, I was literally aligned with the chest. I couldn't be more bang on. And I got to flex my bow skills. Get down. A little bit happier, I made a trip above ground to dump the last of my blocks. So, Rodney, why the hole? I hear you hopefully ask, because I'm assuming you are interested, unless you're just here to hear the sweet eloquent tones that emanate from the mouth of a man-child from the Midlands. Yeah, whatever floats your boat, I'm not bothered. Crap, just hold on a second. Yes, burn you winged filth. I'm a 40-year-old man and I tell myself when I go to bed. Not you. Yeah, sorry about that. To answer the question you're hopefully asking, I'm building an opium den. What? No, I'm totally serious. In a nutshell, this is an unlimited source of unrefined smack that also happens to produce the byproduct of unlimited iron ingots too, which objectively is more useful in Minecraft, so every cloud and all that. But just so I don't get demonetized or anything, I'm just going to refer to it as an iron farm from now on, wink wink. So, this is a village. When a village reaches a certain population density, an iron golem is produced to protect the village. An iron farm is a contraption that recreates the conditions of a village so the game spits out an iron golem that is then dispatched for its core components, which are poppies and iron. The golem dies, the villagers are unprotected, so a new golem is produced, rinse and repeat. There are a few more intricacies that I didn't outline here for simplicity's sake, but you get what I'm on with. Essentially, I'm building a fake village to trick the game into giving me unlimited and free iron. 'Cause I'm a pimp! What's that got to do with iron? Oh God, it's too warm. This is an iron farm from my test world, and it's pretty much exactly what I'm going to build. Brief technical specifications are on screen now for those curious. Nerds. Like a spawner, iron farms are pretty standard and basic, requiring minimal resources, although the minimal part only applies to the resource bit as the effort bar is maxed out due to one variable, and that variable is this chump. This asexual monosyllabic stress-inducing Rain Man with 50 more chromosomes than it should have can quite frankly turn the most patient of folk into rage monsters. It's either going to go smooth or go horribly wrong. But I did have a plan that would hopefully minimise stress. First up, I was going to build the housing at the bottom of the hole. Then I was going to build a breeder that would drop babies into it from about 50 metres or so. Don't worry, the babies won't be harmed because I'll make sure they land in a pool of water. Which, out of context, just thinking about it, is a paragraph I should get arrested for. I committed like 6 NATO war crimes with that spawner alone, and I'm not sure where forced breeding is on the list, but it better be on there even if it's just an honourable mention. This shot is me overlooking my small territory. Harnessing the power of boat, I was going to kidnap one villager at a time, taking advantage of the village being on higher ground so I could easily row across land. Yeah, you heard me right, that is totally a thing in Minecraft. To drop into the river, go downstream to the edge of my base and land row to the breeder. I could use rails and minecarts, but I've not really got the resources for that right now. And to be honest, by the time I laid the rails and all that jazz, I could have just done it. The biggest thing against me was the daylight. Doing this at night would be stupid because of mobs. End of. I had to get a villager and be home for night time or things would definitely get sketchy. I dug out a little trench at my base to make life easier to get across land, but I realised in hindsight I didn't really need it. The only issue were these bits of elevation, and obviously as boats don't climb, it was an issue. Which I've already said. I'm confused. Anyway, there's ways around it. Shut up. Listen. Tip time. When transporting a villager, a cow, a bee, or whatever you want, and the body of water you are using can only take you so far, you can use water streams to help you get to higher ground. If I'm doing out like this, I usually have a bucket of water at hand to help out. Right, we want this boat up here on the higher ground. So I replaced the dirt with wool just to make this a bit easier to explain. If you place water on the purple blocks and try to ride up it, it kind of chucks you out the boat, although it's not impossible. I have seen this done before, but 9 times out of 10 it's going to chuck you out the boat. So you need to pick a spot where the ground is level with the water so the water stream flows into the river like this. Then all you have to do is get back in the boat and ride it up to the top. That's it. It's simple. It's situational in terms of having the right bit of land, and the whole process is easy, but I would recommend doing a few practice runs if you haven't done it before. Thanks for listening. Back to the show. Back in the hole I made housing for the babies to drop into. I built the bed platform first and then the main area, then a quick outer platform for easy access. Above the hole topside I made a holding pen / breeder. Basically, I needed 2 villagers inside this hole to balance on this post while I forced them to make love while I watch and produce a baby that won't be big enough to stand on the post, therefore dropping through the gap into my baby catcher. I had 2 spare beds and I needed 1 more for the breeder to work, so ignoring all emails from Amnesty International, I went to get some more. Future Rodney here, trying to save myself from the wrath of the comments section. Past Rodney was being super dumb because I went on a mission for wool to make beds and I didn't have to because there's at least 2 villages within walking distance I could have just gone and stolen from. So yes, I am an idiot. Looking for sheep got really frustrating, so much so I forgot to take a few pics, and I can't stress enough how long it was until I wandered over to this direction. I didn't find any sheep, and then I saw this telepathic little miracle which suddenly ran off, and then it started finding and killing sheep for me. Yes. 3 sheep later, oh good boy, yes you are, you good boy. Back at base I laid out my wool for no other purpose other than to flex on folk without wool, and then I had 100% legitimate real life meltdown, cause look what wandered into my base having a nosy. You are kidding me, mate, what the... Where were you half hour ago? You... The situation quickly escalated. 2? Are you kidding me, mate? I already had NATO and Amnesty after me. I was about 2 seconds away from landing on the RSPCA's most wanted list, but karma has prevailed and I grabbed fencing from my stash instead of a sword. And I totally regret not killing this smarmy fluffy git, because what happened next made me Hulk out for real. I knocked up a pen in record time and stomped over to where I keep my wheat and seeds for the time that I needed wheat and seeds, because this was the time that I desperately needed some wheat, not seeds. Wheat in hand, I turned around and gasped. Both of the fulls had vanished without a trace. But there was just, there was, and over there, and what, and, oh man, you gotta be joking. I actually lost my mind in real life. Like, this really stressed me out. I managed to record a little bit of audio I can use for this exact moment. Bloody sheep! That really annoyed me! Look, Roddy from the future, I'm so sorry to do this. There was a whole sequence with a pig. I didn't get any footage, I apologise. But what happened was a pig wandered into my base. I was like, oh, I'm going to get this pig into the pen since I've got one. And then I turned around and the pig had disappeared, and that proper tipped me over the edge. I'd proper had enough by this point. WTF, man! What? I just want a pig! Just a pig, man! Like, I'm telling you, I can't act today. I'm losing it. Now, I had enough wool to make a bed I needed, so I made some white dye out of bone meal, bleached the 2 grey blocks so everything matched, and took the beds over to the breeder. Now, while editing this, I realised this setup may pose an issue, but we'll have to find out together if I'm right about the thing I'm not telling you about. Secrets. Anywho, next task was to grab the first villager, and by this point I just wanted to snap my laptop in half and call it a day. A villager mission was the opposite of what I wanted right now, but I really needed a win, so I had to try. And as you saw a bit ago, the transportation went very, very smooth. It was actually so boring I had to do the movie thing where they're like explaining the bank heist while you see the bank heist actually happen. It may not have been executed perfectly, but it made me feel really clever when I thought of it. The villager even went into the breeder with little fuss. I just backed the boat over the hole, knocked the boat out, and the villager just dropped right in. My heart rate finally started to level out. Back at base, I threw down a potato patch in a creeper explosion hole, and then the game must have felt sorry for me because 2 sheep just appeared right next to me and practically danced into the open pen. I rewarded them with a baby. Aww. I stood and watched the sunrise, letting its rays wash over me like a soap clinically designed to target stress, and I centered myself. What a crazy day.